In the next edition of It's About Money, my guest will be Wendy Marks. She's the Managing Director of Shop One² at RIT's Global Village. Stay tuned for that show. Hello and welcome to another edition of It's About Money. I'm Nanette Nocon and thank you for joining us. I'm delighted that my guest is Wendy Marks and she's the Managing Director of Shop One². Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
So tell me about the shop.
That's a big question.
Yes, a huge question.
It's a shop. It's also a gallery. Some people might refer to it as a gift shop. It's located on the RIT campus in an area called Global Village, which is a beautiful, newly developed area that actually opened in the fall of 2010. And it resembles a European plaza. It's beautiful features, outdoor seating with canvas umbrellas and waterfall, and there's a fire pit for people to gather around. And around this plaza are retail stores, including Shop One, which we represent a lot of artists, craftsmen that have an affiliation with RIT. So most of our artists are alumni. And we have a beautiful array of work. We represent a lot of people that have graduated from the School of American Crafts, the Photography School, and the Art School in general, the College of Imaging Arts and Sciences. So it's a very unusual model to find on a college campus. It may be one of maybe 2 or 3 in the country. So it's quite a lovely place to visit.
Sure, because the caliber is so high for, because usually you have small gift shop items for people, but it's like the caliber is so beautiful to go there, and it's a gallery is really, I think, the best description of the shop.
It is, and it's a blended model because I do refer to it as an art gallery, but to some people that's a bit daunting, and we want to encourage students to come in. And we want the staff and faculty to come in as well as the greater Rochester area. We have a lot of international visitors. We have a lot of international students coming through. So it's an opportunity for our artists to be shown. It's not just a Rochester-based gallery, because of the people that come and visit RIT come to see us at Shop One as well.
Yeah, that's terrific. So tell me about the history, because the shop's been around a while, right? Or the name, anyway.
The name,
yes,
right,
okay.
the name.
Yeah.
And our logo is actually, our logo is based on a design that was done by Doug Baker. And he designed the logo originally in the 70s for the original Shop One. The original Shop One actually opened in the mid-50s when RIT was located downtown. They had a downtown campus. They started off on Ford Street for about a year and then moved to Troop Street. And it was begun by 4 craftsmen that were affiliated with the School of American Crafts. 3 were professors and 1 was a recent graduate. And I'll mention their names because a lot of people will go, oh, So Franz Wildenhain, Jack Pripp, Tay Frid, and Ron Pearson. And what they were looking to do, and it sounds like no big deal, but if you think about it at the time, that time frame, they were looking to have an outlet to sell their work. And when they opened, there was only one other place, and it was in Manhattan, called America's House, that was similar, that was the very beginning of the craft movement. So Rochester had a big part in the way the craft world is today. I mean, you can go to a craft show any weekend out of the year in any community, but before this, it never really existed. So Shop One ran from the mid-50s all the way up through the mid-70s and ultimately closed in 1976. And there were a lot of very notable artists involved with Shop One along the way. Tom Markison, Kurt Feuerherm, Wendell Castle, Nancy Jers, Albert Paley.
Big names that are
that we still have. See, that's the beauty of it, that there are a lot of artists that were involved with the original Shop One that we still represent today in Shop One².
Very nice.
Yeah.
I picked up a book about a great American craftsman, and I think 5 of them were from Rochester. And I thought, wow, that's really amazing. And many, I mean, affiliated, and they're all affiliated with RIT. So I thought, wow, that's really cool, and how cool for you to be seeing their works at the shop. So now, how do you choose the artists besides the affiliation with RIT? I mean, that's the primary thread.
It's the primary focus, our primary thread. The beauty of it is, and we have so many people that come in and say, this is such an amazing thing, that the college supports their graduates. They continue to support their graduates by showing their work and ultimately selling their work. How do I choose work, or how do I contact artists? In the beginning, when I began about 4.5 years ago, I just sort of tapped into my base of friends. I actually attended RIT and the School of American Crafts. So I have a lot of friends who are artists and a lot of friends who went to RIT. So that's one place to start. But if you live in a community long enough, and you know this, Rochester's a very rich community for the arts, and it was easy. I can, some just cold calls. But now it's to the point where people are calling me. The word is out. We have a nice website. We have an online store. We have a lot of events on campus that bring alumni back. Brick City Weekend is a big weekend in October where a lot of our alumni come back, and then if they haven't discovered us, they do then. So really the challenge now is we have more demand for the space than I can accommodate.
Right.
I guess it's a good problem to have.
Yeah. How big is the square footage of the footprint?
I don't know.
Yeah. It's just,
I'm not sure what it is.
But it's just like there's so much. It's just beautiful. You lay it out beautifully and rearrange. And
Yeah.
now, in terms of the products and art that's carried, tell me about the different kinds of art that's there.
Well, if you come into the shop, we have it arranged so we have a few focal points. When you walk in the side entrance, we have a really lovely display of work that is actually designed by people that went through the industrial design program. So some of it is actually handmade and some of it is commercially produced, but it's all designed by, it's quite an amazing department. They deal with all kinds of design challenges, all kinds of different materials, everything from cast ceramic to blown glass, to wood, to metal. So we have work by the 2 professors, the head of the department, who is Josh Owen, who has an extensive portfolio of things that he's designed. Everything from bath accessories that are made out of silicone to clocks that are made out of recycled milk carton material, but they're very sleek, beautiful designs. He also has a menorah, a cast metal menorah that is quite beautiful, and he's also designed an adding machine, which is, it's amazing the variety. There's another group of work by Stan Rickle, who's a professor in the same department, and he has designed this beautiful furniture. There's, I guess you could call it a coffee table, and then also some smaller stool-like forms. They're called ants. But he designed them, and he designed the components, and then he actually has, they're assembled over at Arc of Monroe. So, it's a partnership with the community.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's great, and they're fabulous pieces, art pieces. And he also has a coat tree. But and then we have a lot of students that come in. They're undergraduates with ideas, like I have an idea, and I want to sell it in Shop One. And so we work with them about how to present it, how to price it. We always develop an artist card that gets displayed with the work, so anybody that comes in, they don't need a guided tour. They can learn a lot by reading the information on the artist, how they're affiliated with RIT. So I'm particularly proud of that area. It's very exciting because it's always changing.
Yes. Oh, that's cool.
And then there's another area, main part of the gallery, where we display our larger pieces, canvases, paintings. We have a fabulous contemporary quilt artist by the name of Pat Pauley, and her work is amazing, really lovely. So we always try to reserve a spot for her work. And we have furniture, And we have ceramics, some really beautiful, very large, sort of the larger scale pieces are in the more formal area of the gallery. And then as you fan out from there, we have a lot of smaller items. A lot of artists earn their living through production. Mm-hmm. So they'll have a line of bowls and plates, cups, mugs, that sort of thing. So we have areas where we display those items. Glass, we have all sorts of choice in that, vases and bowls. But I think the exciting thing is that if we get artists or new artists, people that have newly graduated, just starting their career, a lot of the work that we have is almost sort of one time you'll see it and it'll be gone. So they're really one of a kind because they're in the building stages of their career. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of jewelry coming out of the School of American Crafts, mm-hmm. really unique pieces because they're being, they're experimental, exploring different techniques. And if you're looking for something that you will never see ever again, this is where you'll find it.
Yes,
yeah.
A lot of one-of-a-kind
Mm-hmm.
things. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So really, you're providing an outlet for the students, the faculty, people who have been through. Now, so Shop One is a part of RIT, so it's not a separate organization. Mm-hmm. So in terms of budgeting and stuff, it's mm-hmm. kind of part of the big organization of the school.
It's fun because it operates as if it's a small business, and a lot of people mistake it as a small business. And I get a lot of comments from people that we deal with, different artists, and they say, "Oh man, you're very well organized. We can always count on you for being thorough." And it's like, yeah, but it's because we're RIT.
Yes,
we are owned by RIT. I manage it, but I think it's a compliment that people think it's a small business because
sure.
that intimacy.
Uh-huh.
And personal relationships are definitely there, so it's nice.
That's great. And how much is of the sales of Shop One is attributed to internet at this point? Is that a big part of it? Or
it's a building. We launched our online store last year, so it's been up and running for a year.
Okay.
So it's connected with our website, and I can say we get a lot of people coming in because mm-hmm. they've seen things on the website and they're intrigued and they're able to come in because they're close enough. But we sell from the website. Just shipped a package yesterday to California.
Oh, great!
So it is, the awareness is there, and,
sure.
and it's like anything, it's growing.
Sure, and if it's large anyway, people who are traveling would probably want it shipped anyway, but at
right.
least they can reference it in the website.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
You're right, because sometimes you do go to the website, but you want to see, touch, and feel
right.
the piece. So
yes.
that's great. So really, in terms of shoppers, while your focus is the RIT visitors, the students, the faculty, it's the community is also invited
right. yes.
to see the products or the
right.
art that's in there.
Right.
That's great. Now, is the model for the artists? Some places have the art pieces as under consignment, and mm-hmm. others are purchased. Do you mm-hmm. purchase them, or do you have them under consignment?
The majority of the work is on consignment.
I see. Okay.
And that allows us to have, just to have a nice, it's actually a beautiful model. It's good for the artists as well, because sometimes artists have a limited pool of work mm-hmm. and they want the exposure, mm-hmm. but then maybe they'll have an event coming up where they want to take it back for a show. Mm-hmm. And so we have that kind of flexibility.
I see.
So, and we do buy some things outright, sort of the tried and true, but to keep things fresh and mm-hmm. always trying new things, because we have things in Shop One, and I feel it's very important to have things that I know, this is going to sound horrible, but that may never sell. Mm-hmm. But it's important to have them there to help expose students mm-hmm. to the variety of work that's done.
Sure.
And to give the people an understanding of the caliber of work that mm-hmm. has come out of RIT. Mm-hmm. And when I say may never sell, we've sold some very amazing high-end pieces. So, but I don't want it to be strictly the work. The criterion to be things that sell. Got it. I really want people to come in and have an experience and and learn something too.
So showcase the work.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily have to
Right.
turn the profit.
Right.
So
Yeah,
yes,
because
got it.
that would turn us into a gift shop.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't, we're a little bit of a gift shop, but we're also an art gallery. So.
Yeah, that's what I love about your shop, and that's why I thought
Yeah.
I'd invite you and talk about it. So we'll take a quick break.
Okay.
My guest is Wendy Marks, and she is the managing director of Shop One Squared at RIT Global Village. We'll be right back. And we're back. My guest is Wendy Marks, and she's the managing director of Shop One² at RIT's Global Village. Thank you again for being here, Wendy.
Thank you.
So is there a time where it's busier for Shop One than other times? Or is it kind of slow down when the students aren't there, or?
What I love about it is that we have all of the classic busy times, like the holiday season towards the end of, between November and December. And that aligns with most businesses. But the beauty of RIT is that we also have other events that bring a lot of people onto campus. Imagine RIT is, it's a campus-wide celebration of innovation, and the community is welcome to come, and tens of thousands of people come to visit RIT that weekend in May. Then Brick City, which I referenced earlier, but that's a big homecoming weekend. So those are two big events for us that we kind of put on our calendar, that we know we get really ready for that, because there's a lot of visitors and very robust sales. People respond amazingly well. And then there's the holiday season. And then in the summertime, actually that's an ideal time for visitors from the greater Rochester area to come and visit. It's easy to navigate into campus. There's lots of parking available. And Global Village, where the Shop One is located, is a fantastic place to come for like an afternoon. You can have lunch. There's restaurants. There's different venues where you can get lunch. You can sit outside when the weather's nice, and come and look at what we have at Shop One. We also have a really wonderful, which we give people that visit, a guide. It's called the RIT Passport, but it's a guide to all the exhibition spaces on campus, so that you can navigate and spend a day, and there's 11 venues that you can visit.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
11.
they're fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and a lot of people are aware of the Bevere Gallery, which is in the art building. There's the University Gallery, which is also in the same building. NTID, the Dyer Art Center, has a spectacular space. So, I mean, there's some really, and the library has multiple exhibits in that building. So there's a lot within walking distance.
And the art forms are so different, from photography to metals to wood to. I think it's so fascinating. Yeah, it's great. It is fun to go there and check things out. And you're right, the atmosphere of Global Village is nice. It's quaint. It just you're right. It's like European type of feel.
It
so,
is.
And the best part is the parking, because people in Rochester are always concerned about parking.
Yeah, and I tell people too, because RIT has changed a lot, and if you haven't ventured onto the RIT campus, the best way to navigate is to just come in the main entrance, right off of Jefferson Road, and there are those two magnificent oak trees out in front. You just drive straight back in, and you'll see Albert Paley's Sentinel.
It's hard to miss.
You cannot miss it. It's
Right.
very striking, and it's a beautiful piece. But you just drive straight back there, and there's what they call the Welcome Center. It's a round glass kiosk with an attendant, and you tell them that you want to go to Shop One, and they give beautiful directions. You won't get lost. And it's on the campus. It's on the back side of the campus. A lot of people mistake it. They think it's over by Park Point. But it's not there. It's on the campus, and you can't see it from Jefferson Road. So you have to start there, get good directions, and once you find us, we can help you find everything else.
Yeah, actually, that's what you're right. It's a common mistake that people think it's in that Park
Yeah.
Point, but it's
Right.
in the
Yeah.
hidden Global Village there
It's
at
in
the
Global
back. Yeah,
Village,
right. Absolutely. So, what is your vision for Shop One?
I've been there coming up on 5 years, and we've seen tremendous growth. I was looking at a photograph that was taken of the interior of the space right when I started, and it looked a bit like a bowling alley. It was wide open, the floor was there. I mean, you could take a bowling ball and roll it down the road and hit the far wall, and there were a few things on the wall, and now you definitely wouldn't want to roll a bowling ball down the middle of the room. It's pretty. We are very good at creating good displays, but we definitely have kind of reached our limit as far as you can't. You don't want to keep putting more and more in because it just becomes sort of, you don't want to become visually chaotic. You really wanted people to understand and have time to really consider the work in there. So I always joke that I would like a second floor built. I mean, after all, it's RIT.
Yes, yes.
They're good, they can build things.
That's right. And you're not
I
taking
say
away
that
more footprint. Yeah, it's up. The second floor is easier to do than
yeah. I think it would be
additional.
great. So we could have a second floor built on there. And but that aside, I don't know how realistic that is. But you can always dream. I think another idea, and it's not in any sort of planning mode, but just another idea would maybe to have a presence in downtown Rochester, to have maybe a satellite gallery.
I see. Yeah.
Where we could replicate, probably not on the same scale that we have in the original Shop One, but the demand is there, the curiosity is there, and if we could come up with the right partnership or scenario, and there's a lot of creative people at RIT, so maybe that's a possibility for the future. I'm always, and then the other challenge is always to stay on top of the website, build more product into the online store, and that's still something that needs to be worked on. And social media is always something that you can always use more of.
And how big is your staff? Do you have
I have a sales associate, a senior sales associate who's there, works in the gallery full time. And then we have, the beauty of RIT is that we have amazing students. So we have student employees as well. And we work with their schedules, and so we patch in so that we've got 2 people in the gallery at all times. And the students are great because they keep us current.
Yes,
And
right.
they help me with the social media part a lot.
there you go.
Yes, which is fun.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. The other day I was told I was over hashtagging, which was...
Oh, I wouldn't even know how to do that.
I was like, okay. Anyway, so that's that. And then we, I have actually student graphic designers. We did a very exciting project at the end of the last academic year. I had a senior photo major, and I thought she's going to leave, and she did a lot of wonderful images of portraits and that sort of thing. So we came up with this concept, and we did it in the gallery. We set up a whole photo studio, seamless lights, and we lured people off of the plaza to come in and sit on a chair and hold an object. They got to pick anything they wanted out of Shop One and hold it and be photographed. And this is what we're incorporating into our print ad campaign now. So sort of real people holding real art. And it was fun.
Neat.
Yeah, it was fun. And I was surprised at how willing people were to be able, we got people of all ages and students and
What a great
faculty.
idea.
Yeah, it was fun.
So it's interactive besides.
Yes,
That's
it was great. It was great. So we're slowly rolling those out.
So actually, just when Shop One was first started, it was a private company, right?
Yeah.
With the 3 professors
Yeah, they
and the
owned it.
student for about
Yeah.
20 some years, right?
Right,
And then when you reopened, it's a non-for-profit unit.
Yes, it's
Oh,
under the auspices
Okay.
of RIT. Yeah, the original one was it was all out of their own pockets.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, that was their venture, and they did an amazing thing.
Yeah, it's nice to put Rochester in the map there for crafts, being more popular. So what are the big names and the names that people should be looking for in terms of artists? There's some really big names in town that are, so tell us some of those names of artists and then.
That are in Shop 1?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to visually go around the gallery. We have some pieces by Albert Paley. We have a beautiful floor lamp and 2 sets of his candlesticks. I love to challenge the students to identify the artist, because one of the sets of candlesticks has a lot of the same design elements that the Sentinel does, this sort of ribbony effect.
Yeah,
so
sure.
if they look at it long enough, they'll figure it out. They'll figure that out and they'll see. So we have, it looks like a little mini sculpture.
I was going to say mini Sentinel.
They're beautiful. Well, they're not that big, they're not that little, but so that, very often we have work by Nancy Jers, who does really, her work is always changing. She has these beautiful pots, that she has these beautiful patinas around the perimeter, and they almost look like landscapes, but she does them with a Japanese brush. And the forms are just very beautiful, and they're usually presented on a nice base, and so they're very sculptural. They're beautiful, and then she does also a lot of wall-hung pieces. So her ceramic sculptures now she is putting in a sort of an ornate frame, which is really an interesting contrast. So we always have work by Nancy. We have work by Douglas Coffey, who's a painter. His work is amazing. It's collected. It's in the Smithsonian. I remember seeing work by his the other day, and it was in a gallery space. And I was looking at it from a distance, and I said, I didn't realize that he did assemblage work, because it looked like overlapping pieces of rusted metal. And as I got closer, I realized that's what it looked like, but it was a painting. So he's very masterful. Jean K. Stevens, who's an amazing illustrator, painter. Her work is, I don't like this term, but jaw-dropping, it really is.
Oh, wow.
And
check that
her
out.
husband is a painter and illustrator, does a lot of drawing as well. His work is different. They're very different, but charming and draws you in, and his work has a personality. Does a lot of landscapes and drawings of houses, but they have a life to them that is really engaging. We have photography. We have Richard Margolis,
Oh, sure. Yeah.
and he does these monumental black and white prints, traditional black and white prints, that are developed in a tray.
Yeah, right.
Amazing.
Yes.
So Belinda Bryce, who's a local contemporary painter. Her work is, I think she's been in the Finger Lakes show, this last Finger Lakes show she was in. And she's a very talented painter. There's so many. I think we have close to 300 artists.
Oh my goodness!
So,
yes.
I'm thinking I'm going to leave out a long...
And then you're right. You're right. And it's not because of the quality of their work. It's just that I put you on the spot here, asking you for some of the artists. So that's really great. So so thank you for sharing us. This is really, I felt like I was walking through the gallery space and just kind of picturing this. It's been a few months since I've been there, so I've got to check it out. And your website's lovely, and you've really done a great job displaying the art and feeling like it's nice that there also, many of which are affordable. Of course, some are more expensive pieces, but then people can walk away having some sort of, if they're visiting, something about RIT.
Yes.
Yeah, very nice. Well, thank you very much, Wendy. I appreciate the time that you spent with me and my viewers. And thank you. My guest is Wendy Mark. She's the Managing Director at Shop 1 at RIT Global Village. I'm Nanette Nokan. Until next time.